On our way to Hazleton, Lucille and I flew into New York and spent some time in New York.
Okay.
Lucille took me over to meet her.
And this was what year?
To meet her old boss, Jim Landau.
Yeah, right.
Now Jim Landau was a real estate consulting firm. He had a real estate consulting firm that represented some very big investors over the years and got to be nationally known. Wasn't not got to be, he was nationally known. And one of his clients was CBS. And all the offices of CBS had all over the United States. Landau firm found the offices, so to speak, or helped put together the deal that built the building or whatever. So he'd been involved, highly involved in all that, had some very sharp individuals, all of whom wound up being shareholders for it all over with.
Of your shareholder view.
But anyway,
Okay.
Jim thought it was very intrigued with me, and of course thought highly of your mother,
Okay.
and put $10,000 into, I think it's 10,000, something like that, into
exchange for stock.
Of a private company. And he said another person, and he also indicated he wanted to drill wells with us.
Okay.
Anyway, and if he could, and that was one of the reasons he wanted equity and also
Working interest.
Drilling participant.
Yeah.
And then he sent me over while I was there, and I met Dan O'Shea, his friend Dan O'Shea. Well, Dan was president of RKO Radio Pictures at the time. He was working for Howard Hughes. And he was trying to, for Howard, RKO had all these huge tax loss carry forwards. He was trying to make it look like it was still in the movie business, and kind of halfway made movies, but kept it alive while Howard was using it to use up all the tax loss carry forwards and a lot of his other ventures that he was putting into there to use up the losses. So anyway, Dan was president of that, but he had been president of Celtic Studios during the 30s when they made Gone with the Wind.
Oh,
He was president of...
What was it called? Celtic?
Selznick. S-E-L-Z-N-I-C-K. That's who... David Selznick was one of the famous producers of all time in Hollywood, in the early days of Hollywood. David O. Selznick.
And Dan O'Shea.
And Dan somehow was able to put up with Selznick, who had a hellacious temper and flew off in 9 directions at the same time. But anyway, Dan was his right-hand man. He was an attorney, and had gone to for Selznick. He was the president, but his background was attorney. He had gone to Boston U, and he had worked for RKO Radio Pictures before in their legal department, and he worked in Hollywood, and knew everybody. Everybody knew Dan O'Shea. Well, anyway, Dan became probably my very closest mentor, and different things. He
10 years older than you?
Oh, a lot older.
20, at least.
Well, yeah, because I'm thinking I'm like this time in 1955, I would have been 30.
Okay.
Dan would have been late 40s, early 50s, probably 50s. 20 years older than I. Next generation.
Okay.
And same thing with Dan.